Now, Pascal, earlier today in the open lecture, Mari Pangestu gave a very comprehensive and an interesting introduction to who you are. And one of the points that struck me was the fact that you were a very stern manager towards the tough civil servants to a point that you receive a couple of nicknames that you go by or people recognize you with. Can you tell us a little bit on the history of that segment of your career?
No, it's true that I I did manage big organizations, and in order to make sure that people follow you, you need to be pretty clear on what's the purpose and what should be done. Hence, a reputation of relatively heavy-handed manager, sort of hands-on, not as hands-off.
Yeah.
Now, some like it, others don't. And when you're hands-on, people usually identify you as a leader.
Now, because we are asking this because our current president-elect, he may share that particular trait because a very hands-on person, and he's known to be very stern with his officers in the Jakarta administration. Now, have you been also known to be someone who makes unpopular decisions back in the day? That
I mean, I wasn't a real politician. The only time I was elected was when I was elected Director General of the World Trade Organization. So, as a semi-technocrat, semi-politician, I was able to take risks which some politicians don't want to take, but which I think need to be taken in order to move things forward. So, true, I'm known for having my views, being independent, and concocting, with a lot of consultations, but my own decisions on where I believe the right direction is. That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Now, and you also speak of the Normandy earlier, the Normandy tradition. for you to be able to behave yourself in the first 1 year after you step off from World Trade Organization. What were your musings at the time? On that 1 year period? How did you keep yourself? How did you behave?
Well, since I left WTO, I don't work less, I don't travel less, but I only do things I enjoy, mostly with NGOs with whom I have acquaintances and similarity of views. For instance, Transparency International, which is this big worldwide NGO fighting against corruption. I'm working on HIV/AIDS. I'm working with the African Development Bank on regional integration in Africa. So a variety of causes I care about, and now that I'm free, I can devote time to these causes, which is great, and which I think is a big privilege, but which also allows me to keep learning. And being able to still learn every day at my age, I think is a big privilege.
Yeah. And when you step out of that 1 year, and what was the first, you were able to, like you mentioned earlier, you were able to just pretty much come out of that confinement and go ahead and say and express what you wanted to say that you were not able to express.
I mean, it's, when you step out of a public position like this, you have to behave for some time, not to step on the toes of your successor. There are a number of sensitive issues. You still have a sort of bit of authority because of the position you had, so you have to be careful now. And I said, it's like widows in my own native Normandy. Widows have to behave during 1 year.
Right.
And then after that, they do what they want. So that's the rule I have applied to myself.
Yeah.
I'm now freer to talk about issues that have to do with international trade than I was just when I stepped out from this previous position, and that's great.